Hello, guys. You're welcome to this edition of my training. And in this training, I am going to be taking you to how to design a full website, starting from the front end to the back end using Python framework called Django. Now, Django is a full stack Python web application development framework which helps us to, you know, design and develop a full-fledged web application. Now we are going to start immediately. Let's jump in. I've created a folder. You can see the folder is empty. So we are going to be making use of this folder. So we're going to be making use of this folder. I am going to right click on this folder and I am going to open with Visual Studio Code. All right, so once my Visual Studio Code is opened, I will go to this place, click on it, go to terminals and click on new terminal. Now, if you are a back-end developer, you should know your way around um, the terminals. So I'll be making use of either of my terminals, and either my CMD, which is Windows Command Prompt, or PowerShell, or even I can even use my Ubuntu. All right, so let me quickly go to my Windows command prompt. Now, to make use of Django, there is some certain things you need to do. Firstly, you can create a virtual environment. First, you need to install Python. Make sure Python is installed on your system. And how do I confirm the version or whichever version of Python that is installed on my Windows system? I can say Python space dash dash version. And this is Python version 3.11.2. So I have Python installed. Now, if you are making use of the Linux command line, it is still the same thing, Python dash dash version. Then, but if you want to clear using a Linux, just type clear. But if you are making use of Windows command prompt, just type CLS. All right. Now, let us know if we have Django and the version of Django installed on our system. So we can do this Django dash dash version. And Django is not recognized. So this is, there is another way. What I will do is I will do pip install Django. Now, Django is going to be installed, but if it is already in my system, it will tell me requirement already satisfied, as you can see here. All right, let's clear this. Now, to start a Django project, what we need to do now is to use this command. I will say Django dash admin. Now, in some, you can either decide to, do this in a virtual environment by creating a virtual environment. So you can say Python 3 dash or Python 3 space uh, um, VMV, then the name of the virtual environment, and it will create a virtual environment for you. And then you can use source, then the name of your virtual environment and the path of that virtual environment slash activate. And it's going to activate your virtual environment. But I don't want to use virtual environment for this training. So I'm going directly on my systems, install the um, um, Django. So I will say Django admin start project. So you are going to write them together. Start project, and then followed by the name of the project. You are going to give a space and the name of the project. So I'm going to call this double 123. All right. So this is my project's name. So I'm going to hit enter. Now, if you look up here, you are going to see that I have a folder created here, and this folder has some files within it and one other folder, which is double 123. So this is my project, and then this is python manage.py. Now, this python manage.py will help me to be able to run my commands to operate my Django application. So we are going to be looking at that python manage.py from time to time. We are going to use it to run our server, to do some other things, migrate, and other Python work. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to make sure we move into this folder, which is double 123. So we can say cd double 123. cd means change directory, and then the name of the directory. So you can see now that we are on that directory. All right. If you want to see the details or whatever information that are in the double 123, whichever if you are using a Linux, you just type ls. But if you are using a Windows command line, just type dir, which is short form for directory. And these are what we have there. These are what we have. We have double 123, we have manage.py, and some other things. And then you can see the dates when they were created and the time. All right. So let's clear this off. All right. The next thing, since we are inside of this directory, we need to create an app, because Django by default has created a project for us. Now, if you want to confirm that Django has created a project for us and created a demo website for us, you can run this code. You can run python space manage.py run server. So it's going to take some time, but it's going to create this demo link. So you can hold control and right click on your mouse, and it's going to take you to your default browser. So through the default browser now, we can access this website. So you can see the website already in our browser. So this is what Django has created for us. All right, let's minimize this. So we can actually close this by clicking on Ctrl C, and that is how to end the server. All right. The next thing is we need to create an app. Now, what is the difference between a Django app and a Django project? A Django project is your main project, the folder containing your work, while the Django apps are the components of your Django project. Take, for instance, the Facebook is a project. Then within Facebook, you have to-do list, you have marketplace, you have chat, and so many other things, community, and other things. So each of these things are components of Facebook. So each of these components are called Facebook apps. So the same way, we have a project, and each of our projects, we have their components, which are apps. So we are going to create the Django app. And to do that, we will say Django dash admin sorry, I made a mistake. Django dash admin start app. And the name of the app, I can say members, and hit enter. So if you look up here, you are going to see that Django has created an app, which is a folder here, and it's members. All right. The next thing that I'll need to do is to configure this app so that it can be displayed in our Django project. So what I will do is I will need to go to my project directory and then go to settings and tell Django that I created an app. So I will need to tell you more about settings.py. The settings.py helps you to organize all your work and tell Django what you want it to do. This is the area where we configure and set up our app and our projects. All right, so let's go to installed app. I'll tell you more about Django settings.py later on. All right, so we just come down here and we add members. All right, so having added members, the next thing is to configure our URLs. Now, Django is a model view templating framework, which means the Django follows a pattern that is called model view template. So we have a model, we have a view, and we have a template. Now our views controls the template and how it is rendered, but then collects information from the model and display them in the view. We are going to see that here. So within the project directory, we have a urls.py. Now what we need to do now here, we have imported some certain things, but I will need to import one more thing. So I will need to import what is called include. Now having imported include, here we already have paths admin and admin.site.urls. So here controls the admin site. So whatever URLs that you have, whatever URLs that you have will be displayed, such as we have this as our URL. So if we want to move to the admin, so we are going to do what we call admin like this. So this is just the URL mapping. All right, so let's get back. So we need to set up the path, and then here we want to map it to the main URL. So then we are going to send anybody coming in to the members dot sorry, we are going to send them to members dot urls. Sorry, it's going to be members. Sorry, we're going to include, because we have imported include. Then here is going to be members dot urls. Sorry for the wrong spelling. So members.urls. All right. So whichever app again that we install, we also need to do the same thing here. So let's take, for instance, that we have maybe a calculator. So we can have something like parts like this, and then we now come down here and we can say calculator slash, just like this. So but since we haven't done this, so I'm going to remove it. All right, so this is it. So we have imported this. Then we can close the this and go to the apps. Then in the app, we need to create a file and call it urls.py. Then before I do anything in the urls.py, I will need to create my views here. I will need to create my views here. All right. So we need to import something here. So we can say from Django, from Django, sorry for this wrong spelling, dot http imports http response like this, and we can set up a function which is going to control the views. So I can say define a function and I can call it home, and it's going to take a request. Sorry for the wrong spellings. It's going to take a request and it's going to return HTTP response. HTTP response like this. So I can return anything I like. Let me return H1 in this case. H1. I can even return a string if I like. H1 hello world. H1 close. All right. Then the next thing I will need to do is to set up the urls.py. And here is going to take the URL pattern. And this controls how it renders the URLs. This is just called, the whole thing here that I'm doing now is what we call the URL mappings. All right. So I'm going to set it up like this. So from Django.urls import path, which is this path that we set up in the project directory. Then from this directory import views, which is our view here, and then the URL patterns. So here signifies that this is going to the home directory, home page, sorry. All right, so let's run the Django, the Python manage.py run server. So when my server starts, all right, we have a problem, and the problem says attribute module members.view has no attribute. So what we need to do here is that we need to make sure what we do here is correct. So the problem we have with here is that we have a function called home, and in our URLs we set it as members. So we are going to correct it now to home. So I think it is correct now. So let's run our Python manage.py run server again. All right, so this is it. So we can go to the home page, to our home page again, refresh it. So we have hello world. And if you right click here and go to view page stocks, you are going to see it is only returning H1, no other thing, nothing more, nothing less. So this is just a way to tell you how the Django works. All right, so let's continue. Now the next thing is setting up our templates. Now, what is a template and what is this? What is it has to do with what we are doing here? All right, you know, if we want to return the whole full page of our HTML, it's going to it's going to contain a very large number of codes. which can may not be able to enter here because we need to define all other pages, because this one is only returning the home page. So we need to return other pages with their codes. So it's going to take a long line of code. So what we need to do here, Python made it in a way, Django made it in a way that we just need to come into the directory which contains our app, and then a new we can create a new folder and we call it templates. So I'm going to do that. I have some templates already that I want to use. All right, so let me quickly go to my file manager and go to my documents under this place. I think it is, yeah. So I have my templates here. So I'm going to cut it off and take it to my new double. And within my new double, I have double 123 and I have members. So inside of this member, I am going to do what? Paste this template. Now you can create your own templates and then include your HTML within it. So if you click here, you see some HTMLs. So I'm just doing this like this because I have already set up my HTML templates that I want to be using for this training. All right, so I'm going to minimize this, come back here. So I have my templates here. Now I will need to tell Django that I am going to be making use of my templates instead of returning ordinary string here. So how do I do this? So I did some couple of things here. So what I did now is from Django.template import loader. So this is going to help us to be able to return our templates. Again is I did something else here in our function. We need to set it to move into the template and then get us the page that we want. So it moves into the templates and it gets us the index.html. And then it's going to return it as HTTP response and taking the template.render method. So this is what we will have now. So if I close my server and run python manage.py run server again, all right, this is it. Here we have it. So, and this is showing me colors and all these things because I used Bootstrap. And I am running this thing directly on my computer, which has Bootstrap 5, Django Bootstrap 5 installed. All right, so if you want to use, if you run your own, it's not going to show you your CSS and your styling, your JavaScript and all that. It's not going to show you those things. And the reason is that you will need to, set up your static folder where you are going to put up your CSS and your JavaScript and then your images. So the static folder will contain your CSS files, your fonts, your JavaScript, whatever other static files that you have. So that is how Django made it to be. But because I have Bootstrap 5 installed, Django Bootstrap 5 installed in my system, this is why I have everything generated for me. So don't be intimidated when you do the same thing and didn't give you the same value. We're still going to tackle all that. All right. If I shut down my internet now, this is going to end this CSS styling because it's redirecting to the CDN. All right. So I have a low battery here. I am going to end this class here. I am going to continue from how to map other pages, because right now if I click on members.html, it will tell me page not found, even though the page is found. So I will continue from here in my next video, how to set up all these pages so that they can actually redirect to their proper pages, and then how to set up your static files and render variables in your template. So thank you very much for being with me. I really had fun teaching you Django, and I think it will be better for me if you follow my pages, follow my Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that I can bring to you all these awesome Python frameworks to enable you join the band wagon. Thank you very much. I hope to see you in our next class. Peace.